Welcome to the White Bear.
Let's address the elephant in the room.
So,
All right.
welcome to the White Bear Podcast, episode number 6.
Yes, episode number 6. This is uh the episode past 5, which means we're kind of committed to this. So
That's true.
that's good.
And nobody's fucking listened
Yeah, but it's fine. I mean, there's always
someday.
tribulations in the beginning, so always rough to start. But I have faith that we'll get this ball rolling eventually.
Same. If we ever take it a little more seriously.
Yeah,
Also, maybe hone in our articles a little more. I feel like the website's a little all over the place right now.
it is 100% all over the place. There's no niche whatsoever. So it's
Yeah.
kind of just like,
It's weird because we said our niche was going to be race things, and we've only written about Kaepernick almost exclusively, I think.
yeah,
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
yeah. That's the point. I mean, we have, with little to no investment, have built the groundwork for what can be something amazing. So we'll see.
Literally only time. There's
Only
been
time.
zero money.
Yeah. But what's been going on with you, sir?
Well, this past week, I got to participate in an event called the Space Resources Roundtable, hosted by the professors at my school. That was pretty cool. I got to meet quite a few important players in the space industry.
Mm-hmm.
No like Elon Musk or Jeff Bezos or anything like that, but pretty important people.
Yeah, yeah,
So that was a lot of fun.
yeah. I feel like not saying that Bezos and Musk aren't important, but they're like the social media rock stars of the industry. I want to meet the
Yeah,
guys on the ground floor, you know?
yeah, and I mean, so ULA, if you're not familiar with that, that's the United Launch Alliance, which is a joint venture between Boeing and Lockheed Martin
Mm-hmm.
to do rocket launches and stuff, basically. So they're not in Denver; they're like just north of Denver. But there's a lot of people from that company there, and like one of my professors is actually just retired from there, and he was like the head of research and stuff. And they're just as big of players as like Blue Origin or SpaceX are. Just they don't have some Iron Man billionaire heading them up.
Yeah, yeah. That's pretty cool though. That's seems like a good connection for, like post graduation.
Yeah, definitely. It was cool to meet a lot of those people. There's also like a lot more companies involved in space resources that I didn't know existed because I mean, they're smaller companies. Not all of them have websites for whatever reason.
Uh-huh.
So it's like that was encouraging because I was starting to worry there's only like 2 or 3 companies I was even going to be able to try to get a job at
Oh,
if I wanted to do that. But now it looks like there's more networking a little bit. So
yeah, that's pretty key. That's probably the best part about something like that. Being
yeah,
able to discover um, you know, companies outside of what you thought were, possible.
hmm
But
I'm sorry if you can hear the crinkle of aluminum foil right now. My dog got a hold of a can and I think he's just shearing it to pieces behind me for some reason.
yeah, I can definitely hear that now.
Attila, are you done? Sorry, I took it away from him. I don't think he was going to stop.
He's sad now.
I know. We'll get over it.
Uh, But so like what
Anyway,
oh yeah, go ahead.
well, I was just going to go on to say, though, speaking of like Musk and Bezos, it's interesting. Like, so this space resources community, they're all involved in ISRU, which stands for In Situ Resource Utilization, which is just kind of the official space lingo, I guess you might say, for referring to making use of resources in space. And they're kind of their own little community within the space community as a whole. And I noticed there was like a lot of resentment's not the right word, but like they took a lot of shots at Elon Musk and Bezos, and the way they were doing it, just like I felt like they were a little bit jelly, you know?
Really?
Yeah, it was kind of interesting. Like I didn't expect that.
That is kind of like,
Like
oh, good.
yeah,
Yeah, that's like kind of, I would say surprising, but I'm not as surprised to hear something like that.
yeah. So it was interesting. There was a guy there who kind of reminds me of like a Musk or a Bezos. Like he had that presence,
Hmm.
and he's like a British guy, and he was all like he looked like a fucking British Bond villain or something. That's what it made me think of. But so there was like kind of an argument that broke out a little bit, spearheaded by him because he was kind of reprimanding the rest of the community for just kind of like having these meetings and not doing anything ever. And so I think he was more on the like Elon Bezos side, and he was like frustrated with it.
Yeah,
And he actually, so he has a company now in Pasadena, I think, where they're like he's basically trying to become a billionaire so that he can just do this himself,
yeah.
kind of like they are. That's his whole shtick, I think.
Uh-huh.
But anyways, he has a company where they're making like lots of mining robots basically right now because the mining industry is like one of those industries that just hasn't stayed up to date with technology.
Right.
And the idea would be to scale those to space. But before that, he had another company with a couple other people, and they were like really close to getting some prince in Dubai to invest $17 billion in them.
Holy shit.
But it fell through. Yeah, and they were gonna develop space-based solar power, which is pretty dope.
Yeah, that's pretty cool, I think. If I if it sounds like if it is what it sounds like, I guess.
Yeah, so you just put up a big solar array in orbit,
Okay,
and
yeah.
it beams microwaves down to like a hub on the Earth, and that just like absorbs the microwaves, and then you can add that energy to the power grid.
Oh, okay. That's what it sounded like, but it was more simple
Yeah,
in my head because I'm simple. But
you're a businessman,
yeah,
James.
I can tell you how to pay for it. If that makes sense.
You can't. That's the problem.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Well, my idea to pay for it would be to get some Saudi prince to invest $17 billion, but yeah, but that
They were close.
that
There's a little more to that story, but
I'm
so this
sure.
is the other thing about like being an innocuous new young person that is sociable enough that people like me.
Uh-huh.
Like some random CEO who was privy to what was going on with this and who happened to be in my group. We split off in the groups to do like brainstorming sessions and stuff.
Uh-huh.
He like for no reason told me this behind the scenes stuff that people aren't supposed to know. I don't know why the fuck he told me, but I like have this space industry secret that I can't tell anybody. But I'll tell you after we're done recording because it doesn't matter.
Okay, cool. I'll sell the information to the highest bidder. Just kidding.
It's not worth any money. It's just gonna make people in the community mad.
But yeah, it's pretty dope though. You feel important?
I do. Got all this power to just bring chaos to the whole uh, session if I wanted to.
Yeah. Other than uh being told industry secrets, what was like the coolest thing from the conference?
Hmm. I mean, just the meeting people.
Yeah.
That's that was good.
Yeah,
I'm stuck in people's heads now, or at least a few people's.
that's good.
They know who I am and stuff.
That's legit. Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, so hopefully it works out in the future. It was interesting. There were a few old white women there. It was almost exclusively old white men,
As everything is.
which yeah, not that I'm super into like hammering points about this where maybe there aren't necessarily points that need to be made. That I don't know if I'm saying what if that yeah, but you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Kind of the nature of the way things currently are, but
Yeah.
there were a few like Latino people, but absolutely no black people, which was interesting because I would expect somewhere like there's a lot of black astronauts, right? Like
Yeah,
relatively.
yeah, relatively, I guess. I mean, to like, I'm not exactly sure what the number is, but I'm sure um, the percentage of black astronauts to the percentage of like black people in the population, I'm sure it's a fairly even, if not higher number, because there aren't that many astronauts. I feel like, but
Nope.
yeah, so.
But yeah, so I guess I don't know. That seems like something that I would expect there to at least be some interested. Why do you think that's an interest thing, an opportunity thing, a
Um,
combination of things?
I think like most things, STEM programs and like finance programs, it all comes down to kind of like a lack of education on the matter. Not that saying that these things aren't taught, but like they're kind of not taught and not taught to be like something that's a possibility in a lot of African American communities. So, and it's something that I would say isn't like other than like Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, it's not something that people like see a lot. So I guess that
Right.
that adds into it. Um, yeah, I would just attribute it mostly to like the lack of education on the subject in a lot of inner city school districts. Like a lot of kids want to grow up being astronauts, because like that's like the cliche thing in terms of
Yeah,
space.
it's cool, right? Like it's almost as cool as like I want to go play in the NFL.
Right, exactly. But like, they're the guys who, not to compare space resources professional to an NFL scout, but being an NFL scout is much more realistic than being like Tom Brady.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
being an engineer is much more realistic for a lot of people than being an astronaut, in which there aren't the probability of someone making it through a program like that is not as high. So
Hmm.
yeah, and there are the race factors that play into it because they play into a lot of a lot of things in this country. But I mean, I feel like a lot of institutions though are trying to rectify that situation. I see it.
Yeah, it's definitely. I'm sorry to cut you off, but it's just one of those things I think about a lot. Is like I wonder if maybe 50 years down the line there will have been like an overcorrection or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Because like when you're trying to fix these problems, you don't see the results immediately.
right, right. But I guess we.
Not,
Oh, go.
I don't think that would matter, right? Like I, you know, if there's a disproportionate percentage of a certain population compared to the total population in any given profession, I don't really care.
Hmm.
And like I'm sure a lot of people think that's easy for me to say right now because I'm a white man, but like I don't think if there is an overcorrection in the future, I'm really going to give a shit that much.
Right, right. But I think the overcorrection more so plays its part in us lacking trades and whatnot, like like welders and truck
Hmm.
drivers and crane operators and whatnot. Those types of professions. That's
Right.
where you'll see like most of the hurt in from like giving out, not giving out too much education. That sounds insensitive, but higher education necessarily isn't for everyone. But
Right. Right.
there's been a push to make it feel like it is. So
Yeah, it is kind of weird.
yeah,
It's
but
definitely like skills are valuable. Like I don't know.
absolutely. I will say it is everyone's right to, like, if they want to, be able
Yeah,
to,
absolutely.
obtain that level of education, but it's your right to also not feel like you have to. So
Yeah.
but also be able to
looks
like
down.
survive without it, you know.
Yeah. There's a big Wayne County complex about people going to college.
Oh, I don't doubt
They don't like it.
it.
And so also not to so some of my less refined acquaintances back home might then after this conversation say something like, "Well, see, you guys got to take care of your own communities. Stop shooting each other or something." At the risk of not sounding like that, we've also talked before about how the military is a really viable option for people to kind of change the class they're uh,
Mhm.
in terms of wealth, and a lot of black people don't see that as a good opportunity, or maybe it's not advertised to them as well.
Yeah. No, yeah.
And I guess I have trouble parsing how much of that, I mean, right, like the the fact that they don't see those things as opportunities has a lot to do with the fact that they just kind of got shit upon for most of American history, and now that's where they're at. But like, I don't know that white people can do much. Like, white people can't do as much to fix that as black people can, even though you could probably reasonably say it was white people's fault. Right? Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. Um, I think I don't know. That's always that one's a tough one because it's hard to convince someone that they should like sacrifice, even though the payoff in the long run is pretty good. But it's hard to convince someone that they should sacrifice, even though not all roles are like combat roles or whatever, which is one
Mhm.
misconception I think that goes around. Um,
Well, even the ones that are combat roles, like your chances of actually dying is really low,
yeah,
even in a combat role.
yes,
Like shockingly low. I can't remember what the stat is, but the first time I saw it, I was like, "Wow, is that true? That's unbelievable."
yeah. No, yeah, it's not. Um, I don't know. It's just not. Well, I grew up in a military family, so it's a little different. Like, so my view on it's a little different. So,
Hmm.
I wanted to join the military, like after college. Um, I was my plan was to see how the job market worked out and everything, and if I wasn't happy or like I knew like service would make me happy, and
Hmm.
just because like I thought about it my entire life because my dad was in the military, so like my view on it's a little different. But I just feel like there's again that like lack of education of knowing what it's all about, knowing like the benefits um, that you get afterwards. Though some of the like there is the VA system is not like very good right now, but in terms of like
Right.
GI benefits, in terms of paying for your education and housing to certain degrees is pretty good. Um,
And respect, right? Like I mean, I don't like the racist white person from Wayne County even is gonna like respect you if you have like a military uniform, right?
yeah,
Even if you're black,
yeah, yeah.
they'll probably think about it in a warped way.
Right, right, right.
But
Yeah, but
that's one of the good ones.
Jesus Christ.
Uh, I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I'm trying to put myself in the head of some inbred fucktard.
yeah. But I think it's a lot of just knowledge and like making yourself open to certain possibilities. There's a certain closed-mindedness within every community, I think,
Yeah, that's probably true.
and when you're told kind of like specifically for the African American community, when you're told you can't do something for so long, and this more relates to like STEM programs and finance and stuff like that. When you're told you can't do something
Hmm.
for so long, you kind of start to believe it. But
Yeah, that's true. I guess that's what the heck's Black Panther's sister's name?
Zuri, is that her name?
Yeah. Well, no, that's the captain of the guard, right?
Oh, I don't know.
Or is
I don't know.
I don't remember shit. But yeah, so that's like as popular as that movie is in pop
Uh
culture.
huh.
That's a really good example to have, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like how many little black girls saw Black Panther and now are like, I want to be the scientist lady.
Yeah, exactly. It's all about just having that example, or like just knowing that it's possible, even if it's from a, fictional place.
Dude, fiction, I don't get some people's beef with fiction. That's like some of the most powerful like ways to imprint ideas in your mind.
Oh yeah, 100%. I mean,
I mean, right?
a lot of.
Like a lot of my moral thoughts are like grounded in Lord of the Rings because I read it when I was so young.
Hmm.
It's just like stuck with me my entire life,
Yeah, and a lot of
which is silly, right? It's a
and a lot of
go on.
oh yeah, and a lot of like fictional ideals like just stem from real life circumstances. So
Right, that's what makes good fiction so compelling.
yeah, that's how I love Game of Thrones.
That shows a little bit of the uglier side of people, but yes.
Exactly, it's more real. It's more uh, navigating through the ugly side of humanity and trying to keep yourself
Hmm.
whole. Especially with Jon Snow's story arc,
Yeah, right.
literally trying to keep yourself whole and trying to be like that honorable person, even though everyone around you is playing this dirty game. So it's just like, yeah,
Yeah, and then it's funny with because like so you see that with Rob and with Ned too, and they obviously both get
right,
got. And it's like even when you see John succeeding doing it, like the amount of luck he's had is just insane. So you're just like,
absolutely.
is this even a viable way to operate? Like,
Right. The best way to operate in Game of Thrones is like Varys. Value
I think
information.
it's to be a hot.
What?
I said I think it's to be a hot girl. You manipulate people, and nobody tries to kill you all the time for the most
Yeah,
part.
that's fair enough. But Varys and valuing information and valuing the greater good to a certain degree, even though you gotta get dirty every once in a while to, protect
Yeah,
that kind of outcome that you see is best
he's
for
like
everyone.
he's like a utilitarian
Hmm.
or a consequentialist, and Jon Snow's like a virtue ethicist.
Yeah, but yeah, there's a lot of lessons you can learn from, the Song of Ice and Fire,
Hell yeah,
which,
I want that fucking next book to come
yeah,
out.
for real. He's coming out with the, oh, what's the book? Um, Clearly not Winds of Winter. He's coming out with, shit, he's coming out with something in like October.
Is it like that? There's like 1,000-page anthology history of Westeros or
Yeah, it's
something.
something like that.
I saw like a lot of the like book reading communities bitches about it online because he like also just made some statement about how he's 100% focused on Winds of Winter and he's got this like 1,000-page
Yeah,
anthology coming out.
yeah. It's just like, what the fuck? He could be done with everything if he just.
Yeah,
I mean, Winds of Winter isn't gonna be for a while because they're coming out with the freaking prequel series now. That
yeah, I saw that.
they're gonna start. Well, I'm sure they're writing for now and gonna start filming the pilot soon. So I don't know when the hell he's gonna finish that book, but
Never.
never. Yeah,
He's doing it wrong because he's too stingy with his IP.
I know. Yeah,
He said he wouldn't let anybody finish it. He needs to do it like the Tolkien estate did it, where he finished his main things and then he just did all this other random crap where he was like fleshing out his world, and a lot of stuff's been published posthumously by the Tolkien estate just from like all the notes and stuff he
Yeah.
had.
Yeah, that seems like a much better way to do it. At least the least selfish way to do it, you know?
Yeah, it's his series, so he can do what he wants, I guess.
Yeah.
But
Damn it. Speaking of selfish dictators and leaders of the world,
here we go,
Trump and Kim,
best friends forever.
BFFs. He had some high praise for the North Korean dictator after their little meeting.
Yeah, dude, I do not like. I don't remember what the exact quote was, but I don't know how the fuck people can defend that. And then like the defense is like, oh well, he clearly doesn't mean it.
Mm-hmm.
Just don't say that.
Yeah,
I'm sorry, he's got death camps.
yeah. Like,
Like it's literally the Holocaust over there.
yeah. Yeah, I was just watching
Well, maybe more like the gulags, but what the
yeah.
fuck's the difference?
I was just watching I don't know, I guess History Channel probably did this special like a year ago or whatever, but um it was just
Hmm.
about North Korea and all the possible outcomes. And yeah, man, it's wild. Like they talked about the fake villages that they built to make look enticing for South Koreans to move north and start a new life.
Yeah,
Like it's just it's wild. It's something straight out of a freaking book.
it's Orwell, dude. Like there's no other way to describe it.
Yeah. Um yeah, I was just like I'll always have my doubts about just that situation, our situation with North Korea just because of the history and who knows what Trump's embellishing about. I know he's trying to deal with China at the same time, so that kind of that factors into the negotiating table a little bit. And so I just gotta say, we just gotta be,
It's
huh? Oh, go
yeah.
ahead. Oh,
Go on.
oh God,
No, you finish.
yeah. But I just think we need to be super weary of the situation. I don't know. I'm not inclined to trust any one, uh, any country east of Germany, pretty much.
Yeah,
So
and I mean, like all this stuff's stupid. I guess I'd rather he's doing this than trying to start a war with them
yes,
because I don't see how Donald Trump's going to be the one that solves this problem. I just
no,
don't see
not at all.
it. And so I guess this is better than the alternative. But I mean, some stuff is stupid. Like people are mad that he said they'd give up war games or
Hmm.
whatever. Like, okay, yeah, that's dumb because it doesn't really look like we've got anything, but also we can just start them back up literally any fucking time we want. Like they're not going to do anything about it.
Right.
It's just, like anything that you think we've lost is kind of an illusion outside of our dignity.
Yeah.
And then the other complicated shit over there too, like people, I don't think like the average person realizes like how racist all of those countries are to each other,
Yeah.
particularly between the Japanese and the other nations. But so like those peoples do not like each other.
They really don't.
And it's really weird because just like from the outside looking in, it doesn't seem like it should be like that, but it
I mean, because
fucking is.
yeah. I mean, we tend to just clump everybody, especially A- Asian countries, into
That's
one big
true.
pool. you know. But
Aren't they all descended from the same tiger or
yeah, it's
something?
something like that. Some super cool, ancient story.
Asian religion's a lot cooler than Western
Yeah.
religion. I'll give them that.
They had more time to think of a lot of cool shit, though.
That's true. They're like more isolated and shit could
Mm.
gestate. Like Zen, I like Zen Buddhism a lot. There's like a lot you can actually learn from that that I don't think is the same case with most religions.
Yeah, I don't know anything about it, but I'm sure I have I don't even want to say criticisms, but like there are a lot of criticisms with that come with Western religions, and a lot of questions that can be raised
Yeah,
uh, that are less about um, self empowerment than they should be, which I think religion
yeah.
should be about. But yeah,
Abrahamic ones get pretty
oh yeah.
nasty sometimes.
Hmm. But
So, what you got anything else to offer on DJ and KJU?
um, I think Kim Jong is a lot smarter and a lot more tactical than Trump probably wants to give him credit for. So I just hope Trump's staff, Secretary of Defense Mattis, keeps everybody on their toes over there.
Mm-hmm.
So, but we'll see what happens. I'm not expecting any groundbreaking resolutions to come out of this presidency in with regards to that situation.
No,
Hmm. Yeah, that's all I got on that too, Jane.
we got the upcoming House elections. Got any opinions on that, or Senate elections, or both of them? Whatever is going on.
I'm not a fan of the what's his name? I can't think of his name. Guy that's running out of Virginia who won't.
The one that's challenging Tim Kaine or
Yeah,
whatever. Isn't he like an anti-Semite,
yeah,
like
he's
total
like
anti-Semite or something?
kind of an anti-Semite. He won't like denounce any of his supporters that have uh, pretty awful views. So I've been kind of keeping my eye on that guy.
Right.
Can't think of his fucking name for some reason.
What I have found really interesting is the Democrats have a very obvious large opportunity to just sweep
Yeah,
up a lot
they
of
do.
seats, and the progressive wing of the Democratic Party seems extremely intent on fighting the more moderate Democrats tooth and nail and kind of ruining some of those opportunities, which I'm not like I don't follow all those local politics closely enough to really know why that is, but that's the
Mm.
impression I've been getting.
Which is really
That seems
disappointing, just because I felt like Trump was going to be a lot more. It's different, but Trump was going to be a lot more divisive within the Republican Party than he has been. Like
yeah, but they've
their
like
alliance, yeah,
unified, homogenized
yeah,
his
the
banner,
alliance,
and the Democrats are the ones that
yeah, yeah, like their
are once.
yeah,
Yes,
their
go
like
on.
loyalty to the party is just is is crazy. It's just wild.
It's got to be just like the way personality traits manifest themselves
Hmm.
within the political parties.
Yeah,
Because that's what I mean. That's the way it always is. Like the Republicans are always they just win
yeah.
better than the Democrats do. They just do.
I don't know. I don't know if it has anything to do with. I don't want to say like the way. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, that's right. I don't know. They're just better at that than the other side.
I think they like are more orderly.
You said more orderly.
Yeah, like a little more orderly and a
Yeah.
little more meticulous. Like at the macro level, that ends up tipping a lot of
Hmm.
scales in their favor.
Yeah, but we'll see what happens. Hopefully, you know, uh, when push comes to shove, it does come down to voters making the right decision. Hopefully.
Yeah, I think it's about time. The Republicans probably need to lose their majority right now. They got too much
Yeah.
power. They got their tax bill through.
Yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Now they're putting fucking little Mexican children in internment camps or something. Whatever the
What
hell's
the
going on with that.
fuck? So crazy. And that's like a result of Sessions. His policy is no.
Ah,
There's like a no tolerance policy for immigration now.
the angry elf man.
Yeah, converting Walmart into internment camps. Like what the fuck? This is America.
America out.
But yeah, hopefully someone does something about that because that just seems absurd to me.
Yeah, I don't know how you can even be a border patrol
Yeah,
person and be like, yeah, this is okay. Like, what are you doing? Say something to your superior. Like, why are we doing this?
but what what do we got next?
Oh, I think you had sports next, but there might be some more political stuff if you want to hit on anything else before we move on.
Um,
I feel like I had something in my head earlier in the conversation, and now it's like fleeted away.
what do I got? I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on with like business stuff that is kind of impacting politics, I guess. A lot of like like people are like hopping on the opportunity to uh to merge and scoop up scoop up as many like companies as possible. You know, biggest
Oh yeah, that's interesting. I
yeah,
didn't
I
know that.
mean biggest being TNT, of course. Gonna scoop up Time Warner, which is huge. That only affects politics because of the antitrust laws and whatnot. So it depends on
Yeah,
the Department of Justice will um, the Department of Justice can file a suit to try to block companies from becoming too big and monopolistic.
right. But they're probably less likely to do that with old Donnie and his
Exactly.
employees in there.
So AT&T has been trying to um, buy Time Warner for like 10 years, and they haven't been able to get it done. But somehow, and during this
Uh,
administration, it just got through. Um, so you should see an increase in their
hey,
cable prices, and depending on who you have.
yeah, monopolies,
Yeah,
man.
and
Dude, that's oh my god. Sorry, go on.
oh no, you can go ahead.
I was just gonna say, like, going back to the beginning at the space conference, like, I do not have a phenomenal understanding of a lot of things, or even a lot of things that I read about.
Mm-hmm.
But I like to think of myself as a bit of a polymath. I try to learn a little bit
Yeah.
about everything. Like the number of times these fucking space nerds just threw around buzzwords like free markets and stuff. I'm just like, you guys are fucking idiots. Like just in stupid context and stuff. Like it's just like
Yeah.
nobody. Bernie Sanders does not think a free market is a bad thing. But like you need
Mm.
regulations. Like we don't want monopolies. We don't want workers falling in our meat factories and getting grinded up with the meat and that meat getting sold to us.
Yeah,
Like
that was the thing. The Chicago meat factory
yeah, it's
jungle.
yeah, it's like it's just weird to me when that people even feel the need to throw that word around.
They're definitely free. There's a difference between free market and a global economy, I think, and people try
Mm-hmm.
to interchange those terms, but um, yeah, free market is we want to get just like when every business there's an appropriate like debt to equity ratio. So like there's
Mm-hmm.
a way to maximize the efficiency of holding a certain amount of debt to equity and debt to equity ratio. It's pretty self-explanatory. It's
Mm-hmm.
the same thing with the free market. Like there's a appropriate amount of freedom that we should have within our economy, and there should be a balance in regulation as well. So like
Yeah, it's just like maybe it's just because I consume more right wing stuff, and then obviously a lot of these old white spacemen are very, very pro uh, capitalism.
yeah.
But just like whenever you start talking about regulations and people just like immediately bring up
Hmm.
socialism, it's just like it's not
No,
socialism.
it's not.
It's a mixed economy that is like heavily tilted towards capitalism. Like we have a long ways to go to get to straight socialism.
Oh, you know what else is
Shit.
fucked up that's in the news?
What's that?
Comcast just pretty much started a bidding war for Fox with Disney against Disney.
Comcast and Disney are bigger than
Yes.
Fox. Holy
Yeah.
shit! I didn't know that.
So,
That's pretty big.
huh?
I said that's pretty big.
Yeah. So, Comcast or Disney, of course, originally bid for Fox at $62 billion. Um, a lot of stock and a lot of cash. But
Mm-hmm.
Comcast just outbid Disney at 65 billion, if I'm not mistaken. But the big thing is, number one, Fox owned Hulu, most of Hulu.
Mm-hmm.
Fox also has the other half of the Marvel properties, which Disney desperately probably wants to get their hands on.
Ooh.
So
Yeah.
Comcast is kind of fucking this all up for us on the Marvel front. Not gonna lie to you.
Comcast fucks everything.
Yeah, that's the thing I'm mostly pissed about with the whole thing. It's fine; they can bid for it or whatever. Who cares? I don't use Hulu anyway.
Mm.
But like, come on, you're fucking with Marvel now. So I don't know if I can get on board
That
with this.
that is crazy to me that they will spend that much money on Fox. And like I know it's like it's a guaranteed you're gonna make money, but just thinking of like this space stuff, it's right. So what I say 17 billion earlier for that huge ambitious thing, like it's a risk short term because things might go wrong, but we know we can do all this stuff, and once we can do it, there is just trillions of
Yeah,
dollars
there's
worth of
tons of
stuff
good
that you
potential.
can like yeah like so if you're a big company like that and you're really and I mean like I know why would Disney that doesn't make any sense for Disney to invest in space mining, but it's just thinking about it in those terms it's interesting to me that like a company has that much money to spend and they could basically mitigate their own risk even if things go wrong just because they have the brunt money power to like get through anything that goes
Yeah,
wrong
yeah.
and the chaos would just be enormous.
I mean, it's wild. It's really wild to think about. But and it's even wilder to think about like so Disney's initial offer, like they don't want Fox like the channel. They don't want the news. They don't want any of that. They're basically
They
they're
probably don't want
basically bidding
to
for
that
the
shit.
IP and Hulu. So it's
Mm-hmm.
just crazy that the rest of Marvel and a streaming service is pretty much worth $62 billion.
Yeah, I mean, shit. Every time they make a Marvel movie, they get $1 billion fucking
Yeah,
dollars.
And that's not even to mention like that's just not box office, not to mention DVD sales, whatever.
Yeah,
So yeah, it's wild. And they get investors for that stuff too. So they're not fronting a lot of their own cash. But investors for like production and whatnot. So but
right.
it's just insane. But money makes the world go round.
This is true.
So you want to talk?
I'll say that. Oh, I was just gonna say one more thing about money. That makes like this space stuff that I'm into really fun because it's at a point right now where there's pretty much just some billionaire has to decide they want to do something,
Yeah,
and so it's totally unpredictable because there's like no shortage of billionaires in America, Japan, Korea, China, the Arabian Peninsula that like know about this stuff and are like waiting for the right
yeah,
opportunity.
yeah.
Maybe not so many that'll just straight up start their own company like Musk and Bezos,
Just
but they know about it.
ready to invest. That's the next frontier, I guess. You know.
Oh, dude, it's gonna be the next oil industry. I'm pretty
Yeah.
sure. Like I'm fairly confident in that right now. Once it gets going,
Maybe we're in the wrong business.
yeah, maybe we could do a startup like that guy I
Yeah.
met, the space
I know
startup.
nothing.
You can do the money stuff. I'll pretend like I know how to
Yeah,
engineer things.
exactly. I was gonna say I know nothing about space, but I can try my best to do math.
Yeah, you just gotta learn about it a little bit. Or shit, even engineering stuff, dude. Like when I work on any project anywhere, sure, like some of the coursework helps, but it's mostly just like, okay, how does this work? I got to figure it out. And it's like different every time. So
Sometimes it's the best way to learn, though.
yeah, I mean that's what I don't think. And I think history proves this, right? Because you have a lot of engineers that don't actually have an engineering degree; they're just old and we're kind of grandfathered in.
Uh-huh.
It's just like figuring out how to do shit. Like if you can do it, you can do it. If you can't, you can't. Like I don't think you need that much
Right.
education for it. To be honest, for a lot of parts of it, anyways. I mean, certainly some things like writing fancy
Uh-huh.
code and stuff, but I digress. I don't want to make my own profession sound bad.
I can hear him panting in the background, by the way.
He's attacking me. This is a bad idea to let him inside.
It's all good though.
Episode 6, My Dog Attila.
Say that again.
I said episode 6 featuring My Dog Attila.
Yeah, I've been thinking about getting in the puppy game here real soon.
Dude, hell yeah, you should
I
do it,
need
dude. He's a giant pain in the ass, but I like don't regret it at
to.
all.
I almost adopted a dog when we were seniors.
Oh yeah, I remember you talking
Yeah,
about
I
that.
actually did adopt him, but they ended up putting him down because, um, like the day before I went to go pick him up from the Live My Animal shelter, they
Uh huh.
had to put him down because he was displaying some aggressive behavior or something. And they were like, "Yeah,
Well, that seems ridiculous.
what?
That seems
Right?"
ridiculous. What kind of a dog was he?
He was a white German Shepherd. Yeah,
Ooh, that's cool. Just like Ghost, we're gonna name him Ghost.
absolutely. Why wouldn't I?
Missed opportunity because the live animal shelter had to
Yeah,
fucking kill him.
like what the fuck?
Jesus Christ.
I don't even.
And so like you had already signed papers and
Yeah, I
stuff,
signed papers.
and they're just like, sorry, you have to do
Yeah,
this.
I signed papers. I
This
went.
is fuck-
I went to oh, what's the tractor supply store by Walmart?
I don't remember anymore.
It was like a tractor supply store by Walmart, and they had like a bunch of like pet
Yeah.
stuff in there too. Went and got his collar, his bowl, picked up some food, and like I was going to pick him up, and like all I had to do was the last payment or the only payment, the adoption fee, and take him
Hmm.
home. But I got there and they were like, "Yeah, he's not here." It's like, well, where the fuck is he? He was dead. So
That's so. What is aggressive behavior? Like he sniffed at
he
somebody?
said he was like guarding the door or something weird. Yeah,
What?
I was like, what the actual fuck?
It's fucked up, man. People are mean to poor dogs. I do get. Do you? I think people. Um. Not. I think the pit bull community is too defensive about pit bulls, though.
No, shut your mouth.
Oh, okay, so here we go. Embrace debate, James.
Do you know? Did I ever tell you about my pit bull? My dad's pit bull?
No,
Oh, I didn't. Yeah.
well, maybe we're talking about. It, I remember, but I can't think of it right now.
So like after,
It's the CTE.
yeah, tell me about it. So after they put the German Shepherd down in Lima, I was just gonna like bring my dad's pit bull to the castle, and
Hmm.
he was really young at that point. He was probably less than, yeah, he was like less than 6. No, he was probably about 8 months old at that time. So like I was just gonna bring him. My dad was like regretting the commitment of getting a puppy, so like I was just I was just gonna get him, bring him to
Yeah.
Castle Bear Paw because I wasn't doing anything really second semester anyway. But he is huge, but he's like a big teddy bear. It's not even like I don't get the whole pit bull hysteria.
It's because their crime stats are way higher because people train them to be mean.
Yeah, exactly. That's my
Which I'm not on the side that all pit bulls are mean. I just think that the pit bull community like overreacts in a way or is over defensive in a way that like isn't even acknowledging the fact that like yeah like this was originally or historically they've been used to be trained to be aggressive. So that's why people maybe have misconceptions about them as a whole.
yeah
Like I feel like there's no acknowledgement of the reason why people are scared of them. And I just think it's silly.
yeah. I guess that's fair, but like it does have a lot to do with like ownership.
For sure. That's like almost literally almost any dog.
Yeah, so like my thing was always
Ooh,
like
ooh, dick is just fucking hanging out right
what?
now. I looked over at Attila. He's on my bed looking out the window, and his fucking red rocket is just like fully extended, which doesn't happen very often. He doesn't have any
Oh really?
nuts. What are you excited about? Okay, sorry. Back
But
to back to pit bulls.
yeah, I mean he's just a big teddy bear. My dad's dog. So I was just like, it's more of a people problem than it is
Yeah.
than a dog.
Well, that's what Attila gets discriminated against too, because they like lump not by like people walking on the street, but by like renters and stuff, because they lump like huskies, Akitas, and like wolf hybrids all together as just like northern dog breeds. So like their stats are
Yeah,
high enough where renters
yeah.
don't want
There are a
them.
lot of like breed restrictions out here with a lot of the buildings. So like German Shepherds, Huskies, uh, Cane Corsos, Mastiffs. You can pretty much only have labs if you want a larger dog. Um,
Yeah.
but
Who the fuck wants a lab? It's like a married middle
yeah,
class white person dog. My ex girlfriend from high school and her husband. I'm waiting for it, but I guarantee they're gonna get a fucking retriever or
oh,
a lab.
no doubt. It's just like the most basic thing to do.
Oh yeah, they're. I shouldn't. They're never gonna listen to this, but yeah, they're basic as fuck.
Hey, they might listen.
I like look back and like I don't know why I dated that girl for so long. Not because there's anything wrong with her. She's really sweet and stuff, but just like think like that's not the
Yeah,
fucking life I want to live. Like just thinking about it, like
yeah,
what was wrong with me?
but yeah, man. I don't know. I just have a soft spot for little furry guys.
Dogs are better than people. I'm pretty sure that's
Yes,
an
one
established
hundred
fact.
percent. Speaking of dogs,
I like. Yeah.
I was gonna transition into the dog pound. For
Oh yeah, yeah. That works. Way I get sports still. So
yeah. Oh, shit, excuse me. But yeah, man, I'm just happy like the NFL's over, or the NFL, the NBA's over because football.
yeah, that was
Oh
just
yeah,
painful. Like I root for the Cavs, but like they just it's like even though they killed Toronto, even after the first round, you were just like, man, this could just go
yeah.
ugly. Like, and then same thing with Boston. Like they had no business beating Boston. To be completely honest, LeBron's just amazing, and then they get to the Warriors, and of course they get killed, and everybody just shits
Mm-hmm.
on LeBron. It's, okay,
Yep.
I almost want him to leave and form a super team with Paul George and Kawhi with the Lakers, just because I want to see the Warriors flustered offensively for like
Yeah.
once in their lives.
No, yeah. They. I don't know. There's like no answer for that team.
No, it's like literally that's the best one I can think of is if LeBron, Kawhi, and Paul George all teamed up, and they got DeMarcus Cousins in
Yeah.
there somehow too.
Yeah.
Then they could match up with them, and then Draymond would start throwing a fit and get kicked out of the game, and Clay would poorly
Yep.
handle adversity,
Per
and
usual.
yeah,
God. I think all three of those guys are like underrated scorers. Like nobody can score like tit for tat with KD just because KD's so freaking tall and his jump shot's so smooth and he can dribble. But
hmm
like LeBron's pretty close. He's not an out like a pure scorer, so like I don't expect that from him. But Paul George is as close to
hmm
a pure scorer as KD is, in my opinion.
You think?
He
I don't like watch
he
him a ton to be honest, because I don't like.
he can really like light it up, but he has a habit of like disappearing a lot. So that's like his
Mm,
been the knock against. And when I say close to KD, like no one's really like close to KD in terms of like scoring prowess. Like he's got fucking
yeah, he's a
what, like fucking
cheater,
four scoring titles or whatever. I don't know. Yeah,
Durantula.
but Kawhi is definitely an underrated scorer, and he's an impeccable defensive player. So it's just
Yep.
that team would be
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, I would love to see, yeah, like a good defensive team go up against the Warriors. You just don't like the NBA in recent years has just not been
yeah.
constructed in that manner. Like how would the what was it, the 2004 Pistons?
Yeah,
Like that might be a pretty good matchup. They had some athletic wings that were
yeah.
good as shit at defense. I don't remember how fast Ben Wallace was, but I mean, I don't like he might be able to keep
They
up with
had like
Draymond. I have no idea. Like that's like a team constructed like that. I would love to see
mhm.
go up against them because you just don't get that anymore.
Like that team was basically a defensive. I mean, it was a defensive team, honestly.
Yeah,
Uh,
defensive team.
which is crazy that they got it done because that it seems almost impossible now, and that would be like Boston playing Golden State. That would have been very interesting because
Oh yeah, that's true. Boston is kind of pretty
yeah,
well defensively built. Not nearly that good, but they have
right,
potential to get better. We'll see what types of moves they try this
yeah,
offseason.
a lot
But
of young guys. But
yeah, I think they got to get rid of
oh
Kyrie or
yeah, they
Gordon
have to.
Hayward.
If they want to land one of the superstars they want to
Like I don't
land,
know.
somebody's got to go.
Yeah,
But
yeah, shit, I would almost hesitate. I might consider getting rid of both of them. They're
yeah,
fucking good without him.
honestly. And then like Kyrie might walk anyway because he wants to play for New York. So I don't know.
Yeah, he
He
is
is a
so
weird
weird.
dude.
Flat Earth motherfucker.
It just baffles me. Like
Yeah. So do we think that that final sweep hurts LeBron at the end of his career?
no, I don't think so. Because I think he ends up. I think he ends up with six.
Yeah, kind of where I'm at too. Yeah,
Yeah, I think he ends up with six. Um,
like
yeah,
six
I think he ends up with
championships.
six.
He's got to
Yeah,
get three more, right? Damn, that's a hell of a
I know,
prediction, James.
ballsy. But I mean, depending on this move, like if it's Lakers with Kawhi and fucking Paul George, I think they can get three more by the time he's done. He he's
Yeah, that's definitely a good start to beating
yes,
Golden State.
he has easily got a couple more years, I think, as a top 2 to 3 player, maybe even longer.
Yeah, that's true. I guess he really didn't look like he slowed down at
No,
all this year.
maybe even longer. And then whether he goes to Philly with Joel or Joel and Ben Simmons, or to Lakers with if they get like Kawhi or Paul George or whatever. Like Kawhi and Paul George are both younger than LeBron, and clearly Embiid and Simmons are. So as he starts to descend, they hopefully would start to ascend into really great players. So
Yeah, that's true. And Markel Fultz too, he was
yeah,
inconsistent
yeah,
this year and hurt a lot, right? But like randomly would just go in there and like flash in the pan triple double and like, oh,
right.
that's why they took him
Yeah, if he can
that
stay
high.
healthy, I think he's definitely
That's what. Yeah, I think if I was LeBron, I would
yeah,
100% go to
yeah.
the Sixers
I would too.
because you know, him and Ben Simmons are close, and they're just gonna get better
Yeah,
and better and
100%.
better. If he can drag this Cavs team to the fucking finals, he can definitely drag the Sixers
Thousand
there.
percent. I mean, the only thing is just keeping Joel Embiid healthy, and I mean they should be fine.
Yep, and just the inexperience they would have on that stage
Yeah, yeah. I, I
definitely
mean,
could
there
cost
was a
them.
playoff game in which Ben Simmons had 1 point, so um, I don't know. you know, hopefully it doesn't shrink up like that in like an Eastern Conference final or whatever.
Yeah,
But
yeah, yeah. You forget how good some of these young dudes are. Like Ben Simmons already. Fucking Anthony Davis might be the best player in the league. He's stuck on a
mhm,
shitty team, and then like Durant and LeBron and all these like older guys won't go away because they just keep being
yep,
good. But shit, some of these young guys are fucking
yeah,
good.
really good. Giannis, Anthony Davis,
Mm,
Donovan Mitchell is like really, really good. Like, where the hell did that come from?
yeah,
But yeah, man, it's definitely going to be an interesting offseason. But
I will say if LeBron moves on, I don't. I mean, I don't trust Dan Gilbert to put together a championship caliber team, but
absolutely not.
I mean, we'd at least at that point we'd have someone good should be there for that number 8 pick. Uh, Chetty and Larry Nance seem like solid long term pieces, so we're not
100%.
quite as bare as we were last
No, not
time.
at all. And like,
We've got trade pieces too. Like someone will take Tristan, someone will take
yeah.
Caleb. Like
And I mean, I'm not clearly not expecting anything out of next season for the 2019 draft. I mean, it's going to be a young rebuilding.
Are they good?
Well, who knows? I don't. You really don't know until March. Like who's
Yeah. Well, that's what I mean. They're set up nicely to do exactly what Boston did after
yeah
Garnett and them left, right? And now where they're at, like if they do it right, which I don't trust Dan Gilbert, but maybe Kobe
hmm
Altman's good enough to do that. I think they'd obviously need to get rid of Ty Lue at that point.
yeah I agree.
They gotta find their own Brad Stevens. How about that lady coach that's under Pop? She's got to be good, right? She's under
Yeah,
Popovich.
I heard she's pretty good, and the guys respect her, which is weird.
I mean, she has to be if Popovich wants her. Like, she
Yeah,
has to be.
exactly. What are your predictions for the NFL? And we can wrap it up after this, I
Hmm.
guess.
Yeah. I like the Browns
You
this
like the
year.
Browns every year, so that doesn't really count.
I know, but not to like actually. Like,
Oh
I think
yeah,
they'll win 8 games.
that yes.
So they won't be a flaming
hmm
trash pile like they normally are. As far as other teams, hmm. Patriots are always in
Of
there,
course,
of course. I think the Eagles will have a hangover year, even with Carson Wentz back, even though he's
I
amazing.
can see that happening for sure. I,
Just because, yeah, I felt like they were playing better than
hmm
than they actually are. They were a deep team, but they don't really have that many like
Yeah,
superstars on their team.
it's definitely hard to repeat unless you're like literally the Patriots. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the only way to do it. Um, who else we got? I want to like the John Gruden Raiders because
hmm
everybody's shitting on him. 'Cause he just went fucking
Yeah.
crazy on that roster, but that's gonna depend more on Derek Carr and Amari Cooper. Like if they suck like they did last year, then it's
Yeah.
not gonna matter. But the year before that, they were amazing.
I hate like
Jags, definitely. Jags are dope.
yeah, the Jags look good. I think the Texans are gonna look really good.
You think? I think Deshaun Watson's gonna
You
look a
think they're
little
gonna look
worse.
worse?
Yeah, he will. Like he, their offense last year was just fucking like chucking it
Yeah.
down the field all the time, and him running. So like he got away with some shit because Will Fuller's really fast and DeAndre Hopkins just like take
Yeah.
balls from
Yeah.
defenders. But I mean, he did that in college too, though, right? Like he had what, like 18
Yes.
interceptions his senior year,
Like it wasn't that.
and so like I think the expectations will be so high that he will disappoint, not he'll be bad.
Okay, that's a fair assessment. What what's the prediction on Lamar Jackson starting at some point during the season?
I don't think he'll start. I think he'll
Okay.
play. The only way I can see him starting is if the Ravens season just like falls apart, and the Ravens season just never falls
Yeah.
apart because they're too well
Yeah.
coached and run. So, but yeah, I think they'll have
hmm
packages for him and stuff,
Um.
and I think he'll be pretty dope. I don't know why like
Yeah.
NFL
I
people
know
don't
it's
like him.
weird. What else? I had another team. Oh shit. Yeah. I mean, of course. I got the Browns going at least at 7. I would say as high as 9 games, but 8.
It's probably a fair
Yeah.
range, 7 to 9.
Like, of course, people are like, yeah, they lost 16, like all their games last year, but there was absolutely no freaking talent on that roster. Like, none.
No,
Like,
really stripped it down
hmm
to the bones.
like we have real players now. Like, there are like barely any
Yeah.
like no name guys. Um, we got
Ooh, you know who I do like actually? Dark Horse. I like the
oh
Chargers a
yeah
lot.
yeah yeah yeah.
their defense has just been getting like good and young and fast the last few years, and if like their offense can just stay half healthy for once, Philip Rivers is like one of the most underrated players in the league.
100%.
Dude's a fucking dog,
Guns.
and he's not even. I'm not even saying he's underrated, but you know what I mean. Like he's he's considered great, and he's better
Yeah.
than what he's considered.
Yeah, their defense though is is something special. And a very underrated Melvin Gordon.
I I hate so much that they got Jatavis Brown. I wanted him so bad,
Yeah.
and Desmond King. They took them both in like the fifth round. Both years that they were in the draft. I was like, dude, these guys are fucking good. Like they just. I've watched both of them play like 3 or 4 times, and they just
Yeah.
play. Like, they're just good.
Um yeah. Yeah, the I'm really excited about the Browns defense though. Um
Oh
Clearly
yeah.
the D line is they got some freaking studs. Very
Yep.
very underrated linebacking core with
Yeah, they're
Jimmy.
running deep
Yeah, Jamie
there.
Collins, Joe Schobert was a fucking Pro Bowler. Um, yeah, and he might not
He might
start.
not start.
Christian Kirksey. It's just Mikhail Kendrick, Mikhail, Mickle.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know how to say his
Michelle,
first
maybe.
name, but I know he's good. So, um,
Yeah.
yeah, very underrated linebackers. The DBs are going to be the key to that defense because I know, well, you know, Greg Williams likes to fucking light people up. So,
Yeah, I wonder if they're gonna like 'cause the D line's not bad, but like the interiors got good players, but
right.
nobody who's like a beast, right? So I wonder if they're not thinking they might run a lot of like pseudo three front where they just have
Hmm.
3 linemen and they just pull Jamie up on the line
Yeah,
like
they,
Leo, like as long as
yeah.
linebackers are healthy. You know what I mean?
I mean, the Patriots did that with him. So, I mean, the Patriots
Mm-hmm.
do that with a lot of their like traditional like inside linebackers. Like that year they won the Super Bowl uh, against the Falcons, the strip sack that Hightower had. Yeah, like Hightower's a
Oh
he's a
yeah, yeah, yeah.
very traditional inside linebacker, but that was one of those fronts where they I can't remember if it was a bear front or just like a 4-man front. I'm pretty sure it was probably like a 5-man front, but he was up on a line like that. I could see uh,
Yeah,
Jamie Collins doing something like that.
that's what I like. Demarius Randall a lot. I think he's gonna be a beast at
Oh yeah,
safety.
oh yeah, 100%.
Um, assuming Jabril beats out Kindred, which I guess they're
Hmm.
giving him both first team reps right now. I think he'll be a lot better at strong, where he gets to
Yeah,
rove around a little more and stuff. And then sounds like
yeah,
Denzel
plus
Ward's
get
good
him
already.
some
So
snaps. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a lot of fun, a lot of fun to watch. Not miserable to watch like last year. So
I hope so. Gotta try to get
yeah,
tickets for the last game of the season again. Did you
no,
go
I
with us
didn't.
last year? I don't even remember. Yeah,
But
but yeah, I'll be home for Christmas.
last
I do
prediction: who do you got starting for the Browns
that. Okay.
within the first 4 weeks? At the end of week 4, the definitive starter at
The
quarterback.
quarterback,
Tyrod.
Tyrod,
Okay,
100%.
I have Tyrod too,
Yep.
and Baker Mayfield just did like the Tomahawk podcast uh, a little bit ago
Mm-hmm.
with um, Andrew Hawkins and uh, Joe Thomas, and he actually said out of his own mouth that he wouldn't mind. He didn't necessarily say he wouldn't mind sitting out a year, but he sees benefit in sitting out a year.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I've heard him say that before. Like, you got to be careful how you word it because you get jackasses saying you don't
Right.
want to play for some reason. But he always talks about his the year
Yeah,
he transferred to Oklahoma or whatever, and he had to sit out or whatever because he was ineligible.
yeah, yeah. So
Wish that
I'm
helped
happy
him.
with that outlook on it. So that it's it's not a bad quarterback situation for once. Yeah, like
Nope, not at
as much
all.
as I loved Brian Hoyer because he was a hometown guy. Like
Oh yeah,
less uh less athletic version of Tom Brady, which means he was had zero athleticism and less
and
accurate,
less
no
accurate.
no arm,
A
and
lot less accurate.
yeah, cerebral, but didn't have the arm to get it there all the time. But it's fine.
Also, must have been a little bit thorny because him and Johnny
Exactly,
did
that
not
was
get
my
along.
point. Like, I'd rather see the situation where,
Which granted, like, yeah, I think there's legitimate reasons for
yeah,
Brian Hoyer to not like Johnny, but Josh
that's
McCown came
true.
in there and
But
loved him up.
that's kind of like Josh McCown's role, though.
Yeah, yeah, but well, I mean, I think it's I don't know, not a personality trait, like a general sign of maturity when dealing with people, right? Like when you're a junior or senior and you got freshmen coming in every year at college football camp, right? And they're kind of all amped up trying to prove themselves. Like there's a way to deal with that that
Yeah,
doesn't involve you being a dick,
right.
right?
Just my approach.
Even especially even if they're at your position, it's like someone who the coaches
Oh
were
yeah,
clearly recruiting hard, right? Like the huge frame or stud quarterback
yeah,
or
yeah.
whatever it is.
Definitely know about that. My my take
Yeah.
was to do the opposite of whatever Cody Cox did. So yeah.
It's probably a good take. Fuck you, Cody. You'll never listen to this.
I literally like we'll both get a text like tomorrow, like hurt the podcast, guys.
He's our only listener. You just lost your number 20 bucks.
Shout out to Cody Cox. Yeah,
Love you, Cody.
yeah.
Dewey. Love you, Dewey.
Oh man, that's all I got for today. You got anything else?
No, I think that's good. We're at what, an hour
Yeah,
17? That's
yeah,
pretty
that's
good.
pretty good.
Pretty good length.
All right, man. We will catch you guys on the flip side, I guess. Uh, remember to follow us
Thanks
on
for tuning
Twitter.
in.
We are gonna start a troll account, so keep an eye out for that. Yeah,
Oh yeah.
and then thanks for listening on YouTube. Like, subscribe, and keep an eye out for some more content. And yeah,
Here, here.
and that's your cue. Oh
I'm
God.
not gonna say it. I'm over that.
Stay classy, America.
Bye bye, guys.